Well. Beautiful people, best damn nation. It is Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It is the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. I am your humble host, Brian Renegade. And with me, I have the best damn crew. First of all, if you see this man in a dark alley, run. He will beat you up in front of your girlfriend and throw your ass in the trash can. He's the green-eyed bandit. He fights people. Sometimes he bites people. He's your mama's favorite wrestler, and he can whoop your daddy ass. The one and only Roosevelt. What's happening?
Hey, man, want to know what's happening? Not only can I whoop somebody's daddy's ass, not only can I take your girl in front of you, but I can do it with 1 inch of a punch, bro. I have figured out how to do Bruce Lee's 1 inch punch through a board. Not one board, not two board, 3 of them boards, 3 of them things. And tonight, when I go to stunt training, I'm going to do 5 of them.
You can't stop on certain numbers because the way the conversation started, it sounded weird. I can do it with 1 inch of fist. You can't stop like that. You can't do pauses.
I can still kick the people's daddy's asses, so don't even.
Oh man,
what's happening with you, man? What's going on with you, man? It's cold in North Carolina, and I know it's nice and warm in Arizona. You need to bring some of that warm weather when you come over here this weekend.
It's a little toasty. It's nice. It's nice out here. It's like palm trees. Good weather. But listen, I don't want to talk about the weather right now because we got something even more important. Roosevelt, we got a special guest in the house. Please do the due diligence and introduce our esteemed guest.
Yes, and when you say special, you need to put some respect on this woman's name because she is definitely one of the greatest, one of the most hard on herself for good reason and no reason at the same damn time. Brother, when I tell you this woman can get in the ring and kick your ass, she kicking ass, okay? And she kicking ass and she's taking your bones home with her. She is the greatest bone collector I've ever seen. She is one of the most dangerous women in professional wrestling. And if you don't know, you're getting ready to find out. Her name is C. Rex. What up, girl? What's going on with you? How you feeling?
I'm good.
You sure you good? You awake? You need a coffee? You need a Bud Light? Well, a lemonade.
A Bud Light. You better step your big game up.
Hard lemonade. You need some lemonade? Need some juice? I got some juice. What's going on with you? Thank you for being a part of the best damn crew today. We're gonna get to know you, get to chop it up with you. My man, Brian Renegade, right up here. He always like to start. Man. Brian, go ahead and throw some questions to him, man.
Well, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with it. I want to know, when did you fall in love with wrestling?
I was a kid. Actually, my family been like big wrestling fans for forever. Like Memphis wrestling. Like my family used to go to the Coliseum every weekend to watch Memphis wrestling. So I kind of was born into it. We used to wrestle all the time at my auntie's house. Used to wrestle with my mom, and over time it just grew into something that I wanted to do.
Oh man, absolutely. Now, where are you originally from?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and a lot of people they are shocked to hear that because everybody assume I'm from Texas, but I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, Memphis, Tennessee. I heard y'all got some pretty decent barbecue. I don't know. I'm pretty partial to Carolina barbecue myself. I ain't gonna start. That'll start a fight. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple things you don't talk about. Religion, barbecue is one of them things. I'm sorry. I've been to Memphis before. I ate y'all barbecue. I wasn't impressed. I'm just saying. Anyway, so growing up in Memphis. Did you ever see any professional wrestlers walking around? Because Memphis is definitely a wrestling city.
So when I was younger, if I did, I probably didn't realize who they were. To be honest, I didn't. I didn't start going to local shows until I was an adult.
Hmm. Okay. So who trained you to get into the wrestling? Like, what was the spark that said, you know what, I think I want to be a wrestler?
It's a funny story, but it's not a funny story, and it has like dots in it.
Okay.
So I used to play semi-pro football, and I ended up getting a concussion, and
Mm.
so I wanted to get into something else. And I told my husband at the time how I always wanted to be a wrestler. And I'm like, if I could just find a wrestling school, I'd be happy. And so I'm like, at the time, 6 months pregnant with my last child. And my husband found a local wrestling show. He's like, they got a wrestling show around the corner every Friday, and they got a school. And I'm like, seriously? So the next time he went, me with my giant belly, I went and they had Moose there. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And the
Mm.
owner of the company came out and said they had a wrestling school. So after the show, I waddled up there with my big old belly, and I'm like, I want to train to be a wrestler. And he looked down, he's like, well, you can't train like this. And I'm like, after I have my baby, I'll be back. And so I had my baby September 14th, and I started wrestling training November 11th.
Oh wow. So
What
you
was
jumped right on it immediately. You ain't even wait for your body to heal all the way. You just like, I'm with it. Let's go.
I got cleared. I got cleared. I went to my checkup. My doctor said I was good. I'm like, okay, I'm good. So,
Yeah.
so when I started training, I started at Soul Takers Academy. And that's where I met DJ Brown. And I asked DJ to train me because I wanted to learn more. And so DJ took me under his wing, and basically DJ did a lot of hands-on training. So it was like, hey, this weekend I'm going here. I'm like, okay. And I go and I'm like, oh, this is different. And so after about a year and a half of that, DJ went to Sir Mo and he was telling Sir Mo about me, and DJ was like, this is a great opportunity. He got a school down here in Texas. So I went down there, I introduced myself to Sir Mo, and then Sir Mo was like, well, he's like, my school's 6 hours away. If you want to train, you have to come drive. And so I drove down to Dallas every month, sometimes twice a month, to go train.
How long is that drive?
6.5 hours, 6 hours if you got a leg foot.
Woo! So you drove 6 hours straight. You like no stopping, just straight from
Yeah,
Memphis down to Texas.
yeah.
Wow. What was it? Looking back on it, were those times? What did you learn during those times where you had the hustle and grind, just getting started and making those drives?
Man. So I learned a lot about myself on them drives because there was a couple of times I had to take them drives by myself.
Mm.
I learned a lot about budgeting money. I learned a lot about saving money. I learned a lot of I learned a lot about like friendships in the business. I learned a lot about um people's word. Like them drives will show you who really has your back. Like it's nothing like having a flat tire and you're like 3 hours away from anybody, and like everybody is at home at 1 o'clock in the morning. And like
Yeah.
you have to figure out what you're gonna do. Like I done had car accidents. I done had like car problems and like so many other things that happened that have like showed me different things about this business in general.
Mm. What was one of the biggest lessons that you learned uh, while in the business? I know you were in the business heavy now, but looking back, like what's one of the bigger lessons that you've learned about the wrestling business?
You cannot get more out of it than what you put in it, regardless of who you are. Like you can look like Adonis and have the skills of a turtle, and and people would recognize you based off of that look and give you chances. But if you do not improve your skills, it's just a wasted look.
Mm, absolutely. Can you talk about some of the characters that you've had over time, and how did you develop your characters?
So I have basically been C Rex my whole career.
Mm,
But she has evolved. So at first it was just a girl in training that like beating up people. Then it went to like kind of like a hoodish type girl that like beating up people. Then she started developing more into who C Rex really is. Like start becoming more animalistic
mm.
over time, and that took some growing into. And like that's where the paint came in, and that's where the chains came in and things like that.
Okay, so you pretty much see Rex as an extension of yourself.
Yes, she
Okay, I like how you say that. Yeah, she is.
Talk about
Absolutely.
some of the hardships that you had to overcome with professional wrestling in your training, and just I know you talked about just getting to know who's who and who has your back, but what are some of the hardships you had to overcome physically with becoming the great C-Rex?
one thing is, and it's something that I still deal with now. It's wrestling is a very sex driven business.
Mm,
um and because of my size, I am turned down for a lot of bookings because I don't look the part. And because I'm a female, I get turned down for like a lot of bookings. And so with that, it's trying. And then I'm a black big woman. That's another thing. And it's a lot of things that like it's like kind of hush hush about stuff. But it's like I'm a black female and I weigh more than 110 pounds. I don't have fake boobs and I don't have a fake butt. And I don't have blue eyes and blonde hair. So that already eliminates a lot of avenues for me. And then the fact that I train with mostly guys. I started wrestling with guys. So that's also another hindrance for me because sometimes I'm seen as not being very like neutral friendly because people see me and be like, oh well, she can only wrestle guys, or she's too big to wrestle women, or she's too strong to wrestle women. So that's some of the things I had to deal with. Then I had to deal with my health. Like you said, I'm a big woman. So I had to lose weight. I had to work on my cardio. I had to work on my endurance. I had to show that, okay, yes, I'm big. Yes, I'm over 200 plus pounds, but I can be in the ring 15 minutes without passing out. Things like that. I had a knee injury where I literally tore almost every ligament in my knee. It was a slight chance of me not being able to wrestle again, but I had surgery, I rehabbed, and I came back stronger than before. But also with that, I had to learn how to wrestle with my new injury. So it's like, okay, so now certain stuff that I would do at first, I'm hesitant to do because of don't want to re-injure stuff. And with wrestling, a lot of times if you don't keep in mind what you're doing or keep in mind the injuries you have, you tend to re-injure yourself constantly.
Awesome.
Advocate,
Real quick,
real
Brian.
quick.
Go ahead.
I got this burn.
Good.
So when you have an injury, how do you communicate that to people where they, because if you say to somebody, hey, I want you to take it easy on my knee, or uh, versus like them taking advantage of your injury, like how do you navigate those waters?
So with that, every match I get into, I always find out like the severity of the match. It might be a small match where I'm not doing much, where I'm like, okay, well, I'll be okay. Then there's a match where I'm doing a lot, and I'm like, okay, let me let them know, hey, I had surgery on my knee. Watch out for my knee. Then I ask, is there anything I should watch out for you? Like, be protected because we have to take care of each other. Is there anything I should know about you? Do you get like a trick thumb or something? Like your shoulder pops out of socket or something? Things like that. And I have had people to, oh, okay, I take care of you, but then purposely do stuff. So
Hmm.
it's just about communication, actually.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Roosevelt.
Absolutely. Real quick, we got a couple of comments. Right now is Justin Lavelle out of Nova Scotia. I did an interview with him last week, so shout out to Justin. Then we got BJ Jordan, someone that C Rex is very familiar with. Shout out to BJ. He says C Rex is a star. And he says C Rex is a beast in the ring. Don't sleep on her. Absolutely. I've seen her work. I've been in the ring with her. I've trained with her. And she definitely is a beast. When you talk about your size and people pretty much being prejudiced towards your size, right? I think of someone like Karma and Nia Jax. Talk about seeing women like that on like the grand stages of like WWE, TNA, and how does it make you feel? Like, does it motivate you? Does it make you feel like you actually have a bigger chance of making it to the big league? Like, how does that make you feel?
So with that, I have mixed emotions. Because when I grew up, there wasn't no women that looked like me wrestling. The closest thing I had to a woman that looked like me was Jazz and China and Jacqueline. And that's when I was growing. That's when I was growing up. And so now, since then, you done had Awesome Khan, you done had Nia Jax. And like, I literally studied Awesome Khan when I started wrestling and training. Like, some of my moves are like in tribute to her. And so, that being said, it's like, okay, well, she was able to make it, and like, and then I see Naya, I'm like, Naya is able to make it. So I'm like, there's a chance. So I'm like, it's not like it was like 20 years ago where it wouldn't be a chance in hell. But like now it's like, okay, I see they're making it, and I'm seeing where now wrestling when it comes to women is so diverse now on the big screen. And I'm like, okay, so there's still a chance that I can make it somewhere, you know. So, but the thing about it is now is just finding where my somewhere is.
Absolutely. I want to show this picture really quick, and it's the picture that we had advertising you. Um, Tell us about the paint. What is the motivation for the paint? Yeah, I know C Rex and then like the T Rex, anything like that. But what is the motivation to choose those colors?
So the colors are technically based off of being like reptile like. So when I started coming to this version of C-Rex, at first I didn't wear contacts. I didn't have trains. And then I started slowly off of advice of others. I started wearing contacts. I'm like, okay, well let me get contacts. And then I started trying out different types of contacts. And then I was in Canada. Um, I was in Canada, and I was there with Congo. And I was like, man, I need something to like stand apart. I'm like, I need something to like push me to like the next thing. And he was like, have you ever thought about face painting? And I'm like, I thought about it, but I wouldn't know what to do. And so he was like, try painting your face. So literally in Canada, I looked up how to do like scales. I'm like, how would I do scales on my face? And I shot the idea off on DJ. Anytime I have an idea about anything, I always go to DJ first. And I'm like, what you think? And then he's like, if you can do it, like if that's what you want to do it. So I did it, and I borrowed some of Congo's paint, and I did it, and I used some stockings to get the design. And like when I went out there, I saw the reaction. I was like, okay, I'm working with something. So then I switched the color, and then I'm like, okay, so now when I do it, I have the scales to change depending on my emotions and stuff like that. So like every time you see me, if you notice that the design is completely different. Um, Trying to keep it, keep it up or whatever. I'm trying to get to like maybe one day doing a whole face, but like right now, the half a face kind of mix in well with where I'm at right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that whole face will be a whole different character. You know what I'm saying? There you go. If you need to go ahead and switch it just a little bit, just go ahead and paint your whole face. Yeah. So you got to be a makeup artist and a painter and all that stuff.
And the
That's
gear design.
awesome, though.
She designs her own gear too.
Oh, you design your own gear. So how did you come up with the idea for your gear?
So it was it was bad luck actually. So um the gear I had at first, a lady named Gear Gal did my gear, and my gear got stolen. My gear passport, everything got stolen out my car. And like I was scrounging around trying to find new gear, and I found a lady locally in Memphis that was working on gear for the Young Rock. And I explained to her what was going on and everything. And my bodysuit, I was like, I want a bodysuit. And I'm like, and I want it to look like this. And I'm like, and this. But she was so creative. She like, what if we add this to it? And what if we add this? And I'm like, that'd be so bad. And then like literally it was like, okay, bouncing ideas off each other. And then finally it came together, and like literally like Soar Mania was like 7 days away. And I was like, I need this by Friday. And she was like, I see. And like literally she had it done Wednesday. I went, picked it up, tried it on. I'm like, okay. And like I went to Dallas and pulled it out of my bag and put it on. And I was like, okay, it's a hit. And I went through the curtain and everybody was like, that's bad. I was like, okay. I'm like, we working on something now. So the gear that I have, it starts with my bodysuit is the original gear. And like if you pay attention, even the chains are different. So it's like it's a metamorphosis. So first set of gear, I'm in chains, and then it gets to a set of gear where I done broke out of chains, and it's more like brutal. Like it has scars, it has blood and stuff like that. And it's like 4 different versions of it.
Hmm. That's dope. Brian, you're on mute.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, that's, where do you see your career going within the next 5 to 10 years? What kind of companies you want to work with, and do you have anybody in particular that you want to work with in the ring?
So I have been doing a lot of extra work for TNA. I would love to be a part of TNA. Um,
Ooh.
like I like the whole feel of TNA, and I like the focus that they have on storytelling, telling character development there. Um, I like how a lot of wrestlers, when they needed a revamp, how they have been able to go to TNA and revamp themselves so they can like go on that second leg. I like that with TNA. Um, as far as working with, a lot of people I want to work with are like still like on the independents, like Rufus Lala. Like I saw her when I was training, and I was like, I would love to work her one day. Um like I would really love to work her one day. I have trained with Gresham a couple of times, and I would like to wrestle Gresham. Like, he's very technical. My biggest one, and I have wrestled him before, but it was my graduation match. Is my trainer DJ. And it's mostly because every time I wrestle him, I learn so much more about what I can do in the ring. And when I wrestled him for graduation, it was like, okay, so I was able to keep up. I think it was like 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, I was able to keep up. But it's like, I would like to work an actual program, like where it's like fuse, promos, skits, like a whole program um, with him. And I think that'd be amazing. As far as what I want to do in the future, I want to get more reps. I want to get my name out there more. I want to do more community work with my company, Sudden Extreme Wrestling, and I want to open up a school. And I don't want to open up just a regular, we train you and we kick you out of school. I want it to be like an actual, like, we're training you, but we're also training you in wrestling, and we're training you in business. We're also training you in marketing. I want it to be a whole like stop chop for like wrestling training. That's where I kind of see myself at. Because of my age, because of my size, I know that I'm not going to be wrestling forever. But I enjoy helping other people. So what I want to do is like start fading out into helping the next generation get to where they're trying to go.
Absolutely. Talk about the connection with you and Sir Mo. Being able to meet him for the very first time, and then running SEW under the OIWA banner. Talk about that connection and those partnerships.
So with that, Sir Mo, Sir Mo, he called himself my dad, and like he tells a lot of people when people give me hell, be like, "Do you know who my dad is?" Um, and like I have done that a couple of times. I have, and someone be like, "Ain't your daddy a wrestler?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's a wrestler." Like, yeah. So with Sir Mo, I met Sir Mo through DJ, and again, it's like I can't give DJ enough flowers because he has done so much for me in this business. If it wasn't for DJ, I would have never met Sir Mo, and if it wasn't for Sir Mo, I wouldn't have Sudden Extreme Wrestling. So I'm a very mental person. I have ADHD and depression, which is a bad combination, and I hyper asphyxiate about stuff. When I injured my knee, like literally, I was on like this roller coaster. Like I was like dominating everything, and then like out of nowhere, I lost everything, and I was told I wasn't gonna be able to do nothing for a year and a half. So Sir Mo didn't want me to fall into depression. So he was like, "Here, I have a company that I'm not doing anything with. See what you can do. Your goal is to have a show in December in Memphis." And I'm like, "It's October. Like, I don't know nothing about running no wrestling company, and you want me to have a show up and ready in December?" And he was like, "I got faith in you, do it." So literally, I got everything together and making phone calls. And literally, I had my knee surgery the Wednesday before the show. So like, I was doing the final details of the show literally from my couch because I couldn't move. And the show went off with a hitch. And then Sir Mo was like, "Here's the opportunity for you. You can do this until you get better." And so literally I ran Sudden Extreme Wrestling, and Sudden Extreme Wrestling became part of the OIWA. We started doing shows in Memphis, and then we started doing shows in Forest City. And over time we phased out of doing shows in Memphis because Memphis is oversaturated with wrestling companies. And so our main focus now is Forest City, Arkansas. And that's how I ended up with Sudden Extreme Wrestling.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Oh man, that's such a great interview. Uh, what is something that you wish to accomplish? And with Sutton Extreme Wrestling, do you plan on going forth with that, or do you? I know you talked about your school that you want to have. Is that like your dream, something that you want to accomplish?
Yes, so opening my wrestling school, even before I got Sudden Extreme Wrestling, I said I wanted to open a wrestling school. But I have done so much good with Sudden Extreme Wrestling, that I do not see myself letting it go. I actually am looking into ways of expanding Sudden Extreme Wrestling. Um, Basically, my goal is to like one day have Sudden Extreme Wrestling up their ass. This is the company to be at in this part of town, or this is where we want to go work at. That is my goal.
Okay, absolutely. I think I can definitely see you in TNA. When you said that, I saw it. I saw the lights. I saw the entrance and everything. What do you? How did you come about your music? Your interest music?
Actually, I did not pick my interest music. Um, when I was in training, um, Jason Maldonado, he's the owner of Chaotic Wrestling in Sherwood, Arkansas. And Sir Mo was like, everybody need music, and I didn't know what to do or anything. And then me and Jason was messaging, and Jason was like, I got you. He like, I know the perfect music for you. And so he messaged a guy named Greg, and he like, this the music I want. We need for her. It got to be hard hitting. It got to be scary, and it got to be something she can use no matter if she's a heel or a face. And and then he picked the track, and I was like, okay. And like I've been using the same song ever since.
Okay. So, will you ever change it?
I actually thought about it. I was actually in the works of changing it, and I don't know.
Nah. It's like, nah, it's working too good.
Like I don't know, it's something about that. Just something about when it gets to that middle part, like after 2 seconds, it's just something about that. When that hit, like I feel like I'm
Yeah,
a
just
badass.
yeah. Oh man.
That's when you know
Uh,
T-Rex is coming through the woods, ready to tear somebody's ass up, right?
Yeah.
So do you guys at Southern Extreme have any shows coming up? What do you guys got going on now?
As of right now, because of the weather being retarded in the South, we normally do not run in January and February because of it might snow tomorrow. It might be tornado the next day. So
Mm,
our next show is not until the second weekend of March.
okay. And I know you mentioned about doing a lot with the community. What are some of the things that you guys have done in terms of community actions?
Okay, so I we have partnered with the Pink Rubies of the Delta, which is a breast cancer group in Forest City. We also partner up with, are you serious?
yeah, we can still hear you. I think it's a little frozen right now, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But that was a good question though. Let's see who she's partnered up with. And yeah, we're gonna get right back to it.
Yeah, we'll give her a second and she can come back on. But yeah, it is a great interview. And she's um one of those individuals that like she said, people kind of sleep on and don't realize that um doesn't realize how good she really is, and she's really hard on herself. Like she gets in the ring and she'll have a match and she'll come out and it'll be good, and she's like so pissed off and mad, and she's crying. I'm like, what's wrong? It's like, oh, I missed the spot. I'm like, what spot? I missed the clothesline. So, okay, and everything else was good. Yeah, are you hurt? No. Is your partner hurt? No. Did the crowd cheer? Yeah. Are they happy? Yeah. What are you worried about? I missed the clothesline. Okay. All right. Whatever.
Well, the thing that struck me was some of the things that she listed as disadvantages, and in a way, a lot of the things that she looked at and viewed as disadvantages were actually strengths. Her size and her being unique, her trying to fit in and have her own voice and try to place herself in the wrestling business. Where do I fit in? What can I do? I can wrestle the guys. Cool. I'm learning from the guys. Now I can wrestle the girls. Now I can whoop all their asses. You know what I'm saying? But where do I fit in the locker room? And I think a lot of people, when they're first getting started, kind of feel that way of, where's my place in this wrestling business and where my head is. When you were just getting started with wrestling, Roosevelt, where was your head at? Like, did you have a certain goal that you wanted to reach? Or were you trying to find your place in the wrestling business like some of the wrestlers that we've interviewed on the show?
A little bit of both, but more so is me saying, you know what, I'm going to make it to the WWE. And a lot of the guys that I met very early on, I said to them right in their face, it was like, yo, what do you want to do with this? I said, I'm going to wrestle for the WWE. And they kind of looked at me like, man, ain't no way. Like, you're 150 pounds. You don't got no kind of muscle mass. Like, you're not going to make it on the WWE. And I actually, I've done it. I've proved them wrong. And a lot of those guys kind of look back and like, yo, this guy really, like, I remember when you said that's what you were going to do. And you literally went out there and busted your ass until you got an opportunity. Like, a lot of us can never say that we've ever done it. A lot of us can never say that we've actually said that that's what we wanted to do. And some guys that actually came and told me like, yo, we kind of like just didn't like you because you said something like that. Like, we kind of like
you were old enough to say it.
Yeah, like, who do you think you is? Like, what makes you better than us and think that you can go out there and do something that we haven't done as long as we've been doing it? And I'm like, I'm Roosevelt.
Yeah.
And that's just it. And C-Rex is one of those competitors where if she just get out of her own head and stop blocking her own blessings, she can really, really do some things. Like she said, she's been doing some extra work with TNA, and something like that can turn into a full-time job, a full-time gig, a contract or something like that. So it remains to be seen. I'm excited for her future.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see more too, and I can definitely see her on any roster doing some amazing things. Man, she definitely has a presentation, and some of the people that she's patterned her moves after are very good wrestlers, like Awesome Kong. Like, not only is Awesome Kong a great wrestler, man, but she's also a great actress, man. Because she was on that show that was on Netflix. I think was it Glow. Yeah, so when I see Awesome Kong, I'm like, oh man, she's a great actress as well, and she has a great personality and a good spirit about it. You know what I'm saying? So I was just saying that you know how you mentioned Awesome Kong and you kind of pattern some of your move sets off of Awesome Kong, and I was like, a lot of people don't know how great she actually is, because she's an actress as well, and she is a legend in the wrestling business, and I think that a lot of people think she don't get as much credit as she needs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got your back.
Yes.
Yeah.
She got hit with an EMP too.
Absolutely. So listen. We got this thing on the show where we you know what? Matter of fact, I was talking to Roosevelt earlier, and I was like, what would be really cool if you if some wrestler names were actually rapper names or rapper names that sounded like good wrestling names. And I was telling him like when I was making the intro, the flyers for you, I think I put one of Glorilla songs on there. And I was like, you know what? Glorilla is actually a dope wrestling name. That's what I say. When you think about it, you know what I'm saying? I say Glorilla would be a dope wrestling name. So I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you to give me 5 rapper names that you think would make great wrestler names.
5?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to do 5. You at least 2.
Cardi B is one.
Oh, yeah. It's a cool hip name. Yeah.
See, I don't really listen to that much rap. Let me see. Hold on.
You know some R&B singers. Keith Sweat.
Yeah. Oh no, not again.
What about like Ludacris? I think Ludacris would be a crazy wrestling name.
Ludacris would be a dope wrestling name. Yeah, I like Ludacris. That's a dope name.
And any rapper from New York would be dope wrestlers. Like let's not forget about Def Jam Fight for New York.
All right. Yeah. I remember that. That was like one of my favorite guys. See, Rex, we still got you.
I think not again. She's got hit.
That's all good. That's snow. That's what that is. Yeah, man. Well, listen, we're gonna get it right back, man. But this has been a great interview, and it's really great that we get to interview a lot of the wrestlers that are hitting this indie circuit, man. Like I said, I wasn't familiar with the independent circuit or independent wrestling, and now I'm getting really acquainted with all the different markets. And like I said, Memphis has always been a wrestling city. Have you ever had the opportunity of wrestling in Memphis?
Did I wrestle in Memphis? I've done a tryout out there for Gabe Sapowski with Memphis Wrestling, but I don't think I've actually wrestled in Memphis. I wrestled in Arkansas. I spent nights in Memphis. I know that. But I have not had the opportunity to wrestle on a wrestling show in Memphis yet. I'm going to work on that.
Yeah, we got to hit up Sir Mo and tell Sir Mo to, book a show in Memphis.
Well, absolutely.
Tell him have some Carolina barbecue up there. And catering. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, what is that something behind you? Oh, I don't know why I thought that was like an iguana or something. I was like, it was your shadow or something. It was something over your shoulder, and I was like, what is that? Okay, it's a show.
It's a shadow in my head.
Okay. It's the way the light is bouncing off. I was like, is that an iguana? I know she taking this lizard thing. Absolutely. Do your kids like wrestling?
My oldest daughter, she said she's tired of wrestling. Well, she didn't say that. She didn't say that until she became a referee, and then after she became a referee, she was like, "I'm tired." My middle child, she's okay, but my son is addicted to wrestling, and I'm not his favorite wrestler. That's the crazy part.
Who was his favorite wrestler?
Hold on, he got a list of them. DJ Brown, Lawrence's X, the Boogeyman, Rey Mysterio, and Logan Paul and Ricochet.
He has an eclectic mix.
And Roosevelt. Roosevelt was able to get my son out of his shell. My son has a development delay and he doesn't talk to people. And Roosevelt was able to get my son to hold a conversation with him. it shocked me. Like literally, I was just sitting there like, is this really going on? Like,
Oh
he
man,
really holding a conversation with him.
yeah. Well, it's with some people that we have on the show, we have a lot of people from WWE legends to people that just get started, but a lot of people that come on the show talk about how wrestling has touched them in some type of way and changed their life. And I think your story touched me on the standpoint of wrestling did kind of change your life and the direction that you're going, man. I think that's a very powerful story that you were telling us. Do you feel like wrestling has changed your life?
Oh my god, yes. I'm to be honest, I cannot begin to explain how much it has changed my life. I I I, I couldn't I'd be at a loss of words. It's just like it has changed my life, like emotionally, physically, mentally, like, and for the good and for the bad. But it's like it's a yin and yang. There's things that I lost because of wrestling, and there's a lot of things I have gained because of wrestling. And like I wouldn't trade any moment of it.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I'm excited to see more from you. You have a bright future in the things that you want to accomplish. Uh, I'm going to tune in when you wrestle. If it's online, it's a video, I'm watching. If it's a show, if I can make it, I'm going. So, so I'm so excited for your future, man, and we will be there to support you. And when you post something, we gonna repost it. You got a show coming up, we gonna share it. You know what I'm saying? So we want to continue to support you in your growth, and you are now a part of the Best Damn Crew. So you can come on anytime that you want to and talk shit with us. You know what I'm saying? You can help us do some of these interviews sometime if you got some time. I know you're busy, but you know what I'm saying? Anytime that you want to come on the show, you are welcome. And I'm so excited for this 2025 for you. It's looking bright, my sister. It's looking bright. Oh man.
Yeah.
We do have this thing on the
Thank
show
you
where
so
we
much. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And look, you've been dropping some jewels this whole show. So we got this segment on the show called Final Word, where we like to give a little bit of motivation, a little quote, you know what I'm saying, a limerick, something, anything that you want to share with people that's on your heart. Uh Matter of fact, hold on, let me read this question and then we're gonna get to it. What it say?
Yeah, you already know who this man is. Black Cat Johnson, Uncle Dion, saying C-Rex in an intergender match against the cat. I would love to see
Let's
that.
book it. I got my money on C-Rex. Yeah, I got my money on
I'm down for
C-Rex.
it.
Yeah. Let's go
I'm
ahead
down
and play
for it.
some bits. Yeah. We trying to book some shows this year, Roosevelt. We can make something happen. Yeah.
We can definitely make something
Yeah. But C-Rex, I want you to give us a little word of motivation, a quote, something that's coming straight from the heart. Do you have a final word for the beautiful people?
A quote from me. Ooh.
Yeah, a quote from you. Yeah, I know you got some Maya Angelou in you. Still I rise.
No. No, actually, like
Okay, so here's a question for you. What would you tell yourself before you started wrestling? What is some kind of advice that you would give yourself before you started wrestling?
Get out of my feelings. Take my heart off my sleeve. Don't expect everybody to be as dedicated and work as hard as you. And for every person that puts you down, there's at least two more that's going to help you get back up.
Absolutely. That is a beautiful word for the monstrous C-Rex.
Yeah. Do you growl at all? Do you roar? Do you roar at all in the ring?
I have to get worked up to do that. I have. I have. I have. I did one time and it scared me. Like,
Like, ah! Where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? Scared myself. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Oh man. Roosevelt, do you have a final word for the beautiful people?
Absolutely. My final word is more so of like a boxing motto that I train people with, and I always tell them: for every one punch that you throw, there's two coming back at you. So make sure you keep them hands up. Whenever you navigate through life, no matter what you're doing, no matter how hard it may seem, you can get through anything as long as you keep them hands up, right? For every rock that you throw, there's going to be two coming back at you. For every one finger that you point, it's going to be four pointing back at you. So make sure you keep them hands up and get out there and make things happen.
Absolutely. Keep them hands up. Keep your hands up. What Pop said, all you need is these. You win some, you lose some.
But you live.
You live to fight that day. Yeah, there you go. That is the final word from the one and only Roosevelt. I guess a final word from me. As I'm looking at this book, it says be purpose driven, right? And sometimes when we feel lost, we don't know which direction to go. Purpose is the only thing that can keep you on track. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a purpose, a goal, something that you want to accomplish, focus on that. It'll bring you out of your funk. It'll bring you out of your rut. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to go through those things to be able to come out on the other side a better person. You know what I'm saying? So let your purpose drive you. Let your purpose lead you. Stay prayed up. You know what I mean? Stay flexible because anything can happen. You know what I mean? But when your purpose drives you, you don't have to worry about steering, going in the wrong direction. Just let your purpose drive you. Be purpose driven. That is a final word from your boy, Brian Renegade. Oh man. Listen, real quick, C-Rex, what you got going on and where can the people find you?
So this weekend, actually Friday and Saturday, I'll be debuting at Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling.
All right.
That's in Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling in Colorado?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Are you coming over here to the restaurant? Okay.
Have fun. You are going to have fun. Tell Matt that formerly Victor Andrews. Tell Matt Roosevelt said hello when you go out there. You're going to enjoy yourself. And I'm gonna do something special for you. There's a book from a author that we had on the show several times ago. Her name is Sharice Stevenson. I want you to look her up and look up her book on Amazon, Unnamed and Unwanted. All right. I think this book will help you in everything that you got going on in life. I think it'll be very motivating for you, C-Rex. And and I'm excited to see what's going to happen for you in the future.
Me too. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And when you write your book, we gonna share copies too.
Absolutely. All of it.
We just waiting on it.
We just buy copies and sell them.
Pressure, no pressure, no pressure. Pressure, no pressure. Oh man. Well, you have been an absolute great guest. Thank you so much for being here on this platform. You know, we love you like a play cousin. I want you to help me end the show, if that's okay. You down with that?
Sure.
All right, cool. So I'm going to say we will see you next week on the next best, and I want you to say damn. Okay. I hope your kids ain't around. I hope your mama ain't around. I don't want them to hear you cuss so loud. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to give me a damn. I want you to give me a damn from all the way up from Memphis. You got to represent. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you got to represent for Memphis barbecue. This damn got to come when you bite into a good piece of rib. Damn, I need one of them. You know what I'm saying? All right. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
And I know you're glitching a little bit, but we're gonna make it work. Beautiful people, best damn nation. We will see you next week on the next best
Damn.
wrestling podcast. That damn sounded like somebody got knocked out. Damn. That's what you say when you see when somebody get hit with a chair. Damn. Oh man, that was a good one. See, Rex, we got to have you back on, my sister. We love your energy. We love your vibe. We love your style. You know what I'm saying? So you come back on the show anytime that you want to. You invite. You know what I'm saying? You invite. Roosevelt, you got anything for the group?
No, I'm getting ready to go break some boys. That's what I'm going to do.
Break some boards. Oh yeah, you did say something about punching walls or something. What you punching boards for? Who you think you are, Jet Li?
No, I'm Bruce Lee Roosevelt. That's why.
Oh, there you go. Bruce Lee Roosevelt sound like a new character. I like it.
You know me, like I'm always trying to figure out ways to be better and improve. And when I did the 3 boys last week, I was like, you know what? I did that kind of easily. Now I want to see if I can do 5. And then next week, I'm going to do a brick. So we're going to see what happens. All
right, break your hands if you want to. Your ass won't be able to eat no more. You grabbing your spoon like this.
Look, in the words of James Ellsworth, any man with 2 hands has an eating chance. Well, he said fighting chance, but I can use my left hand to eat.
Yeah, good.
I got a wonderful woman that'll take care of me. I ain't even worried about it. She a nurse.
Okay. All right.
Health.
Yeah. Your ass 1 foot out the damn nursing home. All right. Let's go ahead and end the show. Beautiful people, you know we love you. Check us out on all of our platforms. You can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, X, or you can go over to our website, www.bestdamnwrestlingstore.com or www.thebestdamnwrestlingpodcast.com. Support our sponsors. Support Blue Hearts for Autism, our nonprofit organization that we support, and support everything that Roosevelt and C. Rex got going on. You know what I'm saying? We'll see you next week. We bid you. Hold on.